Hi there, it's Victor here. Welcome to another session of how to grow your wealth, income versus expense. Before I proceed, I would like to define some basic business terminology as applicable to this session. The terminologies are income, which is the money that come in, the money you make; expense, the money that goes out, the money you spend. Again, just to recap: income, money that comes in, money you make; expense, the money that goes out, the money you spend. Let's get started. The big question is how to grow your wealth, income versus expense. Now let's start with income. What are the ways to grow wealth with income? Well, there are several ways you can grow your wealth. The first way as an employee is to take more responsibility. Approach your manager, your supervisor on a Friday. Tell him or her, I want to take the extra responsibility to set up and schedule the meeting. I want to take the responsibility to invite all the stakeholders. I want to take the responsibility to come up with the agenda. I also want to take the responsibility to write the minutes. Just continue. Do that week in, week out. Do it for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Guess what? When it comes time for an annual review, your name will be the first that your supervisor or your manager will slide into human resource for a raise. So you see, when you take more responsibility, you bring in some value. When you bring value, it comes. You have to note that when you take responsibility, you gain power. The power to grow, the power to be successful. So at work, always try to take more responsibility. Now let's go to way number 2 as an employee. Way number 2 as an employee to grow your wealth is to get satisfied. Become accredited in the recognized organization within your career in your area. Let's say you're a nurse. You might be nurse of different category. You might be an LPN. Try to move on further. Get satisfied. Get registered. Become a registered nurse. When you become a registered nurse, obviously you will notice that there will be an increment in your salary. If you are a lawyer, try to join the bar. If you're an accountant, of course, you want to get your designation, you want to get your CPA. If you're a project manager, you're going to get your PMP. If you're a medical doctor, you want to join the Physician Association. So you want to have your CFP designation. If you're an engineer, of course, you want to have your PEng or your PE. Once you get satisfied, you automatically get a 5 to 15% raise. I mean, those of you who are human resource personnel, you can reckon with me on that. So once you do that, you get more value. If you're a skilled worker, let's say you're a mechanic or you're an electrician, try to join the union. Once you take all those steps, you create more value. When you create value, value comes with growth. I read a book, FU Money, by Dan Lok. The way he defined money, he said, and I quote, money is the byproduct of value created. So anytime you have the opportunity to create value, just go ahead and create it. With time, it will come. Okay, now let's look at ways to grow your wealth as a medium or a big business owners. As a business owner, there are certain ways you can grow your wealth. So let's go with way number 1. You have to create more products. Try to diversify in your industry. When you create more product, you create more value. And when you create more value, it comes with growth. It also comes with wealth. I'll give you a typical example. Do you remember the company called RIM? That's Research in Motion. They were behind the amazing product, which is BlackBerry. Some of you might still, have BlackBerry sitting here and there, BlackBerry Edge. Where is RIM today? The reason why RIM is not even around is because RIM did not diversify. They did not change products. You see, the human eye is designed to see new things. That's why when you see a new car, you turn and look around. You see a new dress, you turn and look around. You go to a new house, a clean apartment, you turn and look around. So if you are a business owner, try to diversify. Look at other products within that industry that are moving, that you can try to grab on and move your business forward. Now let's look at what happened with a company called Apple. Apple actually started with the old-time Macintosh computer. From there, Apple moved to iPod. Some of you can remember iPod. From iPod, they moved to iPad. From iPad, what happens? They eventually moved to the iPhones, where it starts from iPhone 3, 4, 5, right up to 11. So you see, when you diversify, you bring more product to the market, you grow your wealth, you grow money. So that's one of the ways. If you have a business, don't just stick with one particular product. Try to diversify. Once you diversify, you create more product and more growth. The next way as a medium or large business owner is to expand. You see, most business starts like a sole proprietorship or maybe even a partner proprietorship. As time goes on, they might be doing well. The demand of their product might be superseding. The demand can be even more than the supply. When you are a business owner and you realize that your product is needed in the north, in the south, in the east, then that's a wake-up call that you have to expand. Let's say you have your company, you have your business in Gardens Island, and you realize that people want you in the north, in the east, but you don't have inventory. You don't have inventory in those areas. That's the time you need to know that you have to grow. If you were private, try to become public. Become a public listing company. Depending on the region that you are, you can find a partner. A partner can come in with funds, and then you can build locations in east, west, and north. If you are in more developed urban areas which they are exposed to the stock market, as you become public, you can break down your company into little pieces, which are called shares. And you can, let's say you break it down to 5 pieces. You can outsource one of them. You can sell one of your shares. A partner comes in, brings the fund for you to open three other locations to expand the business. When that happens, the partner that comes in now become eligible for profit in the company and all the rules and regulations. So that's another way. Make sure once that happens, take that opportunity. You never know. Opportunity might come, but just once. Once your business start booming, that's the time. Wake up call, try to expand. Do as much as you can, grab the opportunity and grow the wealth at that time, because again, you never know, opportunity may come. Now let's look at the ways to grow your wealth as an investor. Obviously, investors also have to know how to grow their wealth. Well, it's pretty obvious. As an investor, the only way for an investor to grow their wealth is to diversify their portfolio. Let's take, for example, you are an investor and you are in real estate, so which means you pretty much have some rental rooms or rental apartments that you're giving out. You're making money, business is good. You can now diversify in different investment ventures. Just so you know, study shows that an average investor invests in at least 5 ventures. So if you're in real estate, you might want to try stock. Get into the stock market. If you're not very knowledgeable about the stock market, you can start with individual stocks. So you can get a stock like a Coca-Cola stock, or you can get a Walmart. If you are a little bit knowledgeable, you can do what we call a diversified portfolio. You can do mutual funds, which still it's for entry-level stock exchange agent, or you can move a little bit further with index funds. Index fund, which is simply, it has a very low commission fee or management fee. It just follows an underlying market. You have like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and stuff like that. Or if you are more knowledgeable about the stock market, you can do ETFs with no fees, so exchange traded funds. So those are the ways you can diversify if you want to get into the stock market. Now let's move to another investment venture, which is little or not even spoken. These are bonds. Bonds to me are one of the most secure and guaranteed investment venture. Why? Take for example, there are two main types of bond. There is the government bond or the corporate bonds. If you get a government bond, which means you sell out or you buy the bond from the government will definitely pay you. Because the government, they own the central bank. As a matter of fact, they're the one printing the money. So if you invest in the government, of course you will make money. So for those of you who don't know what the bond is, a bond is simply much like a loan. So you are giving a loan to someone in exchange for an interest, which in the bond terminology, the interest is called the coupon rate. The loan that you give them is your principal, which is like a face value. They can hold that money for a period of time known as the maturity period. It can be 3 or 5 years. And once they hold your money, they will be paying you interest quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. So they hold your money, they keep paying you interest. They will pay you that interest for a period of 5 years. After the maturity, they will give you back your principal, which is the face value. So that is the best investment. Your money is staying with them. They are saving your money and they are paying you interest. I mean, there is no other investment that can beat a bond. Never. I've never seen any investment. The interest rate might be low, but it's guaranteed. Government or corporation. Sometimes I don't feel comfortable dealing with companies because they might be liquidated, so I don't like corporate bonds. I like the government bonds because it's guaranteed. So that brings us to the ways how you can grow your income. So the ways you can grow your wealth. So we've spoken about an employee. We've spoken about medium and big businesses. We've also spoken about investors. So the one takeaway today is, remember, your wealth can only grow when you increase or maximize your income.